Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of our podcast, cleverly titled JK Cast. This will be going up on Wednesday, the day of our launch, December 9th. It should be pretty much the first thing on the channel, except for
our intro video.
Our intro trailer video that we're going to do. But yeah, so far we've been setting up this channel. First of all, let's go over what our channel is. My name is Justin.
My name is Keely.
We have been wanting to do this. Me personally, before I met Keely, anyways, when I was 13 years old, 14 years old, I used to make Minecraft videos for YouTube. And I love playing video games. I always had a fantastic time making the videos because it was something fresh with video games to actually take a video game and make content out of it more than just what the video game is. So I've been wanting to make Let's Plays, video game content for a long time. I really never got around to it until now, but you...
Yeah, so my kind of part of the channel is more kind of being Justin's sidekicks on the Let's Plays.
Right.
But also, I've always been really into makeup. I don't really look at it as something I have to wear every day, but more like art. I like to play around with looks. During this year of isolation, I started learning how to dye hair and cut hair. I've done so many things to Justin's hair. It's pretty amusing.
Pretty amusing for you?
Yeah.
I like my hair.
We went through a few colors. I
Yeah.
think you've stuck on blonde now for quite some time.
Yeah, I really like my hair as blonde. My hair's basically platinum blonde, would you say?
Platinum blonde, some deep roots right now. Probably need to bleach it.
Yeah, my hair is normally...
So
like,
Justin, since I met him, has always said that his hair is dark blonde.
Dark blonde.
His hair was brown previously.
Okay, like a lot of people, I was born with bleach blonde hair. As I grew up and got older, it started turning darker. So I always say it's dark blonde. It is light brown, but I like to say dark blonde. They're the same color. Anyway, so I went through a few colors with my hair during isolation, then settled on just bleach blonde. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
It's like white blonde and some dark roots, which go with your mustache and little goatee, I guess.
That's not a goatee.
What are you calling it then?
I don't know. I'm sure it has a name. I can't think of it, but it's not a goatee.
What's a goatee?
Goatee is like mustache and then all the way around. I can't grow facial hair that connects the mustache to a beard or even a beard in general. So I don't know what to call it. But I've like I said before, I've always wanted to get back into making video game content. I used to do it, but then I had to stop just because of high school and college, and I just did not have time for it. But now that I've graduated and gotten a job, have a little bit more free time, I'm getting back into it, and I only got back into it because you, Keely, wanted to start making makeup videos.
Right.
And so when we started trying to put all that together, I was like, well, if we're going to do all that, and I have this, I want to say flaw about me, and I don't want to say flaw in like, oh, I'm a perfectionist, like you say in a job interview. Like, that's my biggest flaw, is I'm a perfectionist. But I want to say flaws like, I like doing things. I especially like them if I'm good at it. But sometimes when I'm not immediately good at something, I don't have time. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not immediately good at this.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like a lot of people have that.
Yeah, or if I can't do something 100%. Like, if you were to look at what I'm looking at right now, if the viewers to look at what I'm looking at right now, the amount of work and
we've
effort
already put into the studio area.
to already put into this channel, and like, we haven't uploaded one single video. I wasn't able to do that before, and that's why I didn't. I wasn't able to go 100% into it, so I didn't do it.
So we've been really, throughout this year, especially staying at home more, not really going out on weekends or weeknights like we used to. we've been talking about this channel, what we want to do, trying to brainstorm names, what we want it to look like. I know we ended up settling on the least creative name. Maybe.
That was my favorite thing. One night we really got down to it. And we were thinking of names, and we were really going at it full force. And
what was that one name we really liked? It was like Grove House.
We really liked Grove House.
So we loved Grove House because obviously our last name's Musgrove. We thought it'd be like, this is our house. This is centered around us and our interests.
Right.
But turns out, a lot of companies that are called Grove House already. There's a band.
There's like a band named Grove House.
There's a retirement facility.
There's a real estate agency named Grove House.
Yeah.
And it just ended up not working out. And
we had a hell of a time trying to think of something different.
We were thinking of so many different things, and we eventually just settled on Justin and Keely,
yeah.
Which I actually, after settling on the name, then going into making the art, the color scheme, everything we already did for the channel, I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the fucking world.
I really like how it turned out, and I like the stuff we're gonna be able to do because it's our name.
Mm-hmm. I do think I don't know how it's gonna turn out because we are doing basically what we have planned so far is Let's Plays. Where, you know, you're probably familiar with what that is. It's us playing video games, having commentary, having a fun conversation, and then you doing makeup videos.
Right. I'm probably going to do some, like, get ready with me's. Maybe Justin will be there for some of them. We'll do kind of like a Let's Play thing, but for makeup. Kind of a different take.
We have been brainstorming of what we're going to do with, like, the makeup. Because obviously, like, this is coming out on Wednesday, December 9th. Following this, our first Let's Play will go up, and then hopefully a Let's Play every single day if we can make this happen. But me and Keely are both part of that, and so we're still brainstorming. We've kind of figured some things about how I'm going to be a part of her side of the channel, which is makeup videos.
Right. So, I mean, it's not just makeup. It'll be beauty, maybe some plant care. I haven't really decided all that we're going to do, but it's kind of be focused on more of my interests. Not that I'm not interested in video games. I'm just not very skilled at it. I would say I think a lot of people who really excel in video games kind of grew up a lot of males our age
grew up playing video games, and that was like kind of always our thing. Like, I grew up playing video games. I've been playing video games literally for as long as I can remember. Like, you developed
that reflex time.
I developed the reflexes, like, pretty much a lot of games are pretty similar to each other in terms of control, so, like, I can pick up a game and be pretty good at it right off the bat just because, like, I already know the controls, or I can probably guess pretty close to what the controls are. And for, like, a lot of women our age, they didn't grow up playing video games because if they had brothers, their brothers played video games. Or if they did play video games, it was, like, these maybe, like, slower video games. I played, you know, a lot of FPS games, a lot of first-person shooter games. Like, I grew up with, like, Call of Duty and Battlefield, where it's, like, very quick reaction time, very, you know, more violent. I don't want to say violent because it's not... More graphic.
Graphic, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, at least I had 3 sisters, so there were no brothers in my household or anything like that. But the first, I think, console we had was a Wii. And we really just, like, played.
That's crazy.
Played, like, Nintendo Sports, whatever. And then I ended up getting a 3DS for Christmas one year. The Nintendogs Special Edition 3DS. It was like pink with like little paw prints on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's where I played. Like when I got that, I got Nintendogs obviously and Super Mario 64. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started playing like platform games. I never really, as a kid, played any first-person shooter, anything like that.
Right.
I think it's really cool and interesting, and I'll sit on the couch, and Justin will play with a group of my friends from where I work, play Warzone and Call of Duty together,
right.
And I'll just like sit there watching because it's so cool and interesting.
Right.
But I I've played a few games. I just don't have the skill set.
Right,
It's
especially
really
if you've never
embarrassing.
played a first-person shooter, like picking it up and like the controls on looking, especially like I remember the first Call of Duty I played, Modern Warfare 2. I remember playing that and just like the look sensitivity was very strange and all that.
And, like,
But-
not saying like a lot of women our age aren't good at video games. It's just not my experience. I'm really not.
Oh yeah,
I don't excel.
I would say the norm is for our age, our generation, boys are better because they were kind
Because
of
I
allowed
feel like
to play video
society at
games.
that time really
Right.
embraced that men, I mean, like young boys
You're-
should like video games.
You're allowed to be violent.
Right.
Whereas if women were playing video games, they were playing Nintendogs or, Mario
Yeah.
64 on the DS, which is not a violent game or whatever.
I
But-
just feel like it's really starting to change, and
Right.
like one of my really good friends from work is a badass at Warzone.
Yeah.
And I just can't play. It's embarrassing.
Right. But like you grew up with all sisters. I grew up with an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was playing video games like Modern Warfare 2 or whatever, he was 4 years older than me. So I was also playing those video games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was 14, maybe I was 10 or 13 and 9 or whatever. But
Maybe if you were the firstborn, you wouldn't have been playing that game yet.
maybe
you know.
not yet, but I think it's Modern Warfare 2, but there is this mission during the campaign. Like this 100% could not be a scene in a video game in today's America. I think it's Modern Warfare 2. I was playing this when I was like 10, I guess. I don't know. When it first came out, I was playing it. Playing the campaign, there is a mission where you're infiltrating like a Russian operative, and they are going to an airport in Russia to just shoot the place up. So-
What?
Yeah, so you are a person playing this game, and the mission for this part of the campaign is
to shoot civilians at an
walk
airport?
into a Russian airport and shoot civilians.
What on earth?
There is no way that could be I'm pretty sure I've got all the facts right on that. There's definitely a Call of Duty game where you play a campaign and you have to shoot up an airport, but like that 100% could not be.
That's not
No.
okay.
No.
That ain't it.
No. It's fucking terrible. All right. So we've gotten into
So, I mean, we built a computer for the channel.
yeah. So
That was a pretty big
I've
deal.
always played on consoles. My first I played on the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, PS2 was the first console that I actually owned, and played there. Played on PS3, Xboxes. We have a Switch now. I've
Love the Switch. It's
played
my
on a
favorite.
ton of consoles. I've always wanted to build my own computer, just not even for gaming, but just for like other things that I do, and I just never. The thing is, like I said before, I like to go 100% into something, and if I can't do 100%, I don't do it at all. Now, if you're out there, you can say, "Oh, you can totally build a good gaming. You can build a gaming PC for $800." You're totally right, but if I want to build a PC, I have to build the best PC I can build. And to do that, you need money. I didn't have money when I was 14 or anywhere, and I still
Anywhere
really don't.
else.
But like, I have enough to like, if I save, to be able to build a gaming computer or a computer that can actually
Like render
edit
videos,
render
yeah.
videos, capture them in high def, and not have bad quality, because I couldn't. No matter how bad I wanted to start a YouTube channel, there's no way I could start uploading videos and they're not high def. I
Right,
couldn't
not
do
be
it.
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were finally building a computer, and so we were getting all the parts. And I've been thinking about this for years. I'm doing all this research, but the problem is during 2020 isolation, everybody's home, everybody needs things to do, so everybody is building computers.
Everybody's building computers.
right.
It's wild.
So
I read this article recently because we are trying to buy a graphics card.
Yeah.
And we're having a hell of a time at it. Micro Center, we have one here in Dallas. Micro Center didn't have really any capture cards that were the GeForce series. They
Yeah,
had the AMD.
Graphics cards.
What did I say?
Capture cards.
Graphics cards, guys. Micro Center didn't have any graphics cards that were GeForce. They had a lot of the AMD.
The AMD Radeon 5700.
Radeon, yeah. But we've read about a lot of problems with those.
Not to say that they're not bad graphics cards, but I just, for my first, this was the first PC I built. I was reading reviews and it was saying things about like going into BIOS and tuning the fans and overheating. And I'm like, I can't deal with that because I've never built a PC before.
Right.
We've never built a PC before. We didn't know how to do
that, and we don't want to risk it really on our first build.
Right.
Not to say it's not a good graphics card. Maybe we'll explore it in the future, but
yeah. So right now, what we were doing was we were buying all these parts for PC. We couldn't find a graphics card. It was after the 30 series came out for GeForces. But right before the 3060 Ti dropped.
Right. But from all the stuff that we read, though, after we started having a really hard time trying to find a graphics card here late November, we were doing some research on it, and it looked like I saw this person, I forget the name, but they wrote an article back in June or July where they said it's a horrible time to buy a graphics card.
Yeah.
And in November, they pretty much rewrote like a new take on the article, and it was entitled, "It's Still a Bad Time to Buy a Graphics Card." And they were saying that pretty much based on projections of what NVIDIA has been putting out, they think even with the new drop of the 3060 Ti, you still won't be able to find a GeForce available.
Yeah, just with the amount of scalpers and bots that buy up stock immediately when it drops.
Ridiculous.
But also just it being 2020, there's a pandemic. More people are building computers, so demand goes up for these graphics cards. But then people can't go to work and build them, so supply goes down. And we even saw like used prices for like
right, like the 2060 for like $700.
Yeah, even like $400 for a 1650 used.
Yeah.
So we actually lucked out, and we were at this Micro Center, and we were going. We were
trying to find.
It was around Black Friday. We were waiting in line forever. We get in there.
It was like the day after Black Friday,
right.
I think.
We get in there. We're like, "What can we help?" Well, I was like, "What do you have in terms of graphics card?" And they literally only had like
1650s,
1650s, whatever, for pretty expensive. But we noticed this. Someone had returned a EVGA GeForce Ultra Super RTX 2070.
Yeah.
And
while we were waiting in line, because, they have that whole build your own PC area over there. While we were waiting in line, they have a cage of things that were returned. And we spotted it while we were waiting. And after we realized how little stock they had in terms of the 20 or 30 series, we were like, hey.
What about that one over there?
What's up with the case?
Yeah, so they're like, oh, that's the return stuff, and they let us buy one. So that was the last part we needed to build our PC and finally get this channel going. We were actually, because we couldn't find a graphics card, we were actually going to launch the channel
in January.
Yeah. Because we
just didn't know how long it was going to take to find one.
To find a graphic, because again, like I say, I can't do something if I'm not going to go 100%. I couldn't buy a 16, you could.
A 16, like, come on.
You could argue with me all day about specs and whatnot, but I'm like, yeah, but there's no arguing that the 2070 Super is better than the 1650 Ti. There's no arguing that. Right. And I'm like, I have to get the better one. And I know there are better graphics cards out there, and I would love those, but they're just not available.
Yeah, like the only one other than, like, there were no other 20 series, and the 3060 hadn't come out yet. We weren't sure when it came out, if it would be available for more than like 4 minutes online. And the 3070s, 3080s, 3090s, the 3070s and 3080s all sold out. Only thing they had in stock was 3090s for like $1,600, $1,400.
Oh yeah,
and that's just not.
They also had like the Quadros.
The Quadros, yeah.
Like an insane amount of money, and like.
And that's just like not in the plan for us. We didn't save that kind of money.
No.
So
we didn't. We actually, but though. Since we were building the PC around Black Friday, we got some pretty good deals.
The Ryzen processor, we got like $100 off.
We got $100 off a Ryzen 9 3900X.
Right. We got like $20 off the motherboard.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, we actually did a lot, and I love our PC. I love
Yeah.
looking at it. I love.
We're just so you guys know, we're staring at the PC right now while we're talking about it. We've probably talked about it way too much. If anyone's interested though in building your own PC, I would say do it.
I would say do it, and I would
do
say if you're anything like me and like you're waiting to have a certain amount of money to build the bet, just you have to let go. You have to just
Right.
do it, because if you don't, you're gonna be like me and wait 7 years, and you finally do it, and you're like, I can't believe I waited this long to do this.
Right. And if you're like wondering, I think it took us about like half a day really to build the computer, another half a day to download software and tune things.
Yeah. To actually build the computer, I was actually very surprised because, I follow these forums and read all these articles about building your own PC because it was something I wanted to do. I wanted to know as much information as I could about the topic, so that when I did it, I wasn't gonna, screw something up and like short something, and like my, expensive parts are just duds. So
yeah,
actually,
we borrowed an ESD mat from one of my friends from work.
yeah, a grounded mat, just so like.
Yeah.
Because a huge thing with like people building the PC is like, if you're wearing like footy pajamas and you're walking around on carpet and you like touch your motherboard and you shock it and you connect to electrodes or whatever that shouldn't be connected and you short those, you can burn out the whole thing.
Right.
Now, hopefully that's not the environment you're building a PC in, but we were just trying to be as safe as possible.
We were building it. What we were standing on previously, the room that is now what we're calling our studio, we had a kind of makeshift gym in here because of, the pandemic and everything. We didn't want to go to gyms.
It wasn't makeshift.
Well, we got some like foam flooring off of Amazon.
Yeah, foam mats.
So that we could like throw weights on it and stuff like that. But it's definitely an insulator and definitely not the best surface to be standing on when you're building electronics. But
if you are thinking about
everything
building
was okay.
a PC, I definitely recommend, no matter what you hear in other videos, no matter what, because I watched a lot of videos about people building PCs, get a wrist strap, get a grounded mat.
You just spend hundreds of dollars on all these parts. Like, why not spend $20 taking that small precaution to make sure your parts are safe?
Yeah, so you don't screw it up. But after we built our PC, the only problem is the case that we got. The front fans didn't light up. But after some quick Googling, I figured out why. Now it just looks great. We got basically every part in there is RGB, red, green, blue. So it's just like a bunch of bright LEDs, and I fucking love it.
Yeah. One day I got home from work. Justin's been working from home during this time. I cannot work from home. I work in a manufacturing type environment, so I have to go to work. One day I got home from work and Justin had been working in the studio area at the desk and just looking at the computer, and he was like, we should get some more fans. Just because he wants more of the RGB, I think.
Yeah, I just want more RGB. I just want
because we've been monitoring the CPU and the
graphics card temperature
and the graphics card temperatures, and they're fine.
Yeah,
like, they're going great. We've got 5 fans in there right now.
Yeah, I've done some tests with rendering.
I guess we have 6
videos.
fans in there.
Because
we have one on the power supply.
Well, yeah, but
3 on the front, 1 on the back, 1 on the processor.
Yeah.
And the temperatures have all been great, but he's just like
great.
Looking at it, he's like, we need some more RGB. Let's get some more fans. So we'll probably end up doing that project a little later. I feel like we spent enough money on this.
Oh yeah, we spent enough money on it for the time being. But I'm glad, like, before we launched our channel, we got basically everything we wanted. We still haven't gotten like the new Xbox, the new PlayStation, but honestly, right now there aren't a ton of games out for them, or if any. So
right,
I'm not too torn up about it. Plus, we already have a ton of games that we want to record. Like later today, if you're watching this on or listening to this on Wednesday the 9th, later today we'll launch our first Let's Play series, which is Mario 64.
Which I'm just like so pumped about.
Right.
Turning that on, watching the intro, running up to the castle.
Yeah, we already recorded a couple episodes of that last night.
Yeah.
So we're recording this after this Let's Play series that the first
But
couple
this
episodes
will
of Let's
launch
Play,
before.
But this will launch before. And we've got some other things to record. But I'm super pumped about it because we've thinking about it for so long and finally putting all the pieces together. And I'm so glad to just like last night, finally sitting down on the couch
and recording some content.
and just playing some video games and recording content was so much better than I could have even imagined. Like I'm so pumped about this room and the studio and the channel.
Yeah, we really decorated out this room that used to be the gym area and put up some foam, soundproofing on the walls that's blue and green, like our colors. We painted some furniture, built some shelving for consoles. It's just all like really tied into the theme of the channel, and just looks like it's a great environment to try to be creative in.
Yeah, just to be creative and just like spend some time in and just like have some fun. That's mostly what I want to do with this channel is just you know, kill some time, have some fun, because it we both work full-time jobs outside of this channel. So
this is definitely going to be like spend our entire weekend on it kind of thing. Like recording, editing.
Right.
Because like, we do have to work full-time.
Yeah, recording's pretty easy in terms of like, I can sit down, we need to record 30 minutes of content. Maybe record for like 35 minutes because of just like things we need to edit out or whatever. But then actually editing, that's time consuming. On top of having a full-time job. But like if we were doing this with a full-time job and not having fun and just trying to do this for to have to monetize a hobby,
right?
Like it would be way too stressful and not worth doing at all. But so far I've been having a ton of fun.
Yeah
100%.
So I'm taking like the role of, I guess, social media manager,
right?
So I'm doing my best.
Me personally, as a person outside, I don't really do social media just because, honestly, I'm a socially awkward person. I don't like my close friends, I can definitely meet in person and not feel awkward at all about, but like meeting new people or people that I don't know that well or whatever, and especially online, that's exactly what your relationship is. You don't really know them that well. Or you don't know them at all.
Yeah, you don't know how that caption's going to sound to this random person you never met before.
Yeah.
If they're going to think you're stupid and you're thinking about that in your head and you're like,
Because like I see people post on Facebook about like family stuff and they have like 800 friends. I'm like, do all of those 800 people know about your family?
Right.
And if they don't and you want to share that, fine, be it, that's you, and I won't judge you for that. But
right, like that's empowering. I couldn't do that either, really. I think the few times I really post on social media, I'll post on Instagram anything. Really, like, I've been trying to get more into it lately. Like, really, every major event I have, I'll like post a picture. Like, Halloween, I made that balloon arch, whatever. I'll post that. But before this year, before isolation, I posted maybe like once every 4 months on Instagram. Like, I used it every day. I went and saw what other people were doing, but
right.
It's just that awkwardness. Like,
right, because I feel like that's exactly how I would be with social media. It's like, I would love to see what other people are doing. Not just like stalk them or whatever, but like, I'm genuinely interested in what like people I know are doing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I haven't seen, like Justin and I both used to work at Starbucks when we were in college. And, like, there's some people there that I haven't seen for years in person, but I always catch up with on social media. And I think it's a great tool, but...
Right, but like me seeing their stuff and like, wow, that's so cool. Like I'm genuinely interested. But if
you never think that
stuff,
someone would want to see your stuff.
I'd be like, oh, like I haven't seen you in a couple of years. Why are you looking at my stuff? Yeah, I don't know. That's just like a personal hang up.
Yeah, we need to get over that.
Yeah.
But I've been working on doing social media, and I feel like it's gone pretty well. At least Instagram and Instagram and Facebook. Twitter, on the other hand, I am struggling with. I've never had a Twitter before. Like, I think the first time I made a Twitter was in high school. Did any of your English teachers in high school like make you do a Twitter to get extra credit points?
No, I for extra credit in my high school English class, I actually went to a half price books and read
what
poetry that I wrote for extra credit.
I cannot believe you did that. Were you failing the class?
No, I don't know why I did it, honestly.
What grade was this?
This was junior year.
I cannot believe you did that.
I can't believe...
I've never heard this before. I'm really learning more about you.
This was... No, I remembered. So, okay, first of all, hold on. Let's get to that story a little bit later. But you were talking... You're doing social media.
I'm doing social media. I think Twitter is really confusing just because I never really had one. When I was starting my social media growth, it went from Facebook. That's obviously where I started. I got a Facebook. My parents didn't let me have one until 8th grade. I have older parents. They were born in the 50s, and they're more traditional, I would say. Didn't really like the concept of social media as much in the early days. And so I didn't get a Facebook till I was in 8th grade. I never had a MySpace. My sister got to have one. I was so jealous. I would always go on and help her style her page.
Well, you never had a MySpace?
No, I never had a MySpace.
I had a MySpace.
So I would go on my sister's MySpace and help her style her page, add music, whatever, but I never got to get one because I was too young and they thought because they were more traditional, which isn't the worst thing. Right. For kids to not be on social media so young.
Yeah, social media can definitely destroy your confidence. I had a MySpace, and I just used it to play this racing game.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just played that, and that's all I had the MySpace for.
So, I just really never got into Twitter. I think I just probably wasn't allowed in the early days, and then my friends were all on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to really get a Twitter started for the channel, and we have one follower. Shout out to Tej for being our one follower on Twitter. Really appreciate you. If more people want to follow our Twitter, it's linked on our YouTube channel.
It will be linked in the description of this video.
Yeah. But I feel super awkward on Twitter. I'll write whatever on Facebook and Instagram and just post it. But Twitter, I just don't even know where to start.
Even though I'm not on either, Facebook seems a little bit more family and friends, and then Twitter seems like it's just out there. Because, I see just browsing the internet, Reddit, whatever, just screen caps of people's Twitter. And so it just seems like it's out
it's
there
always
so
screen caps. People are always trying to bring Twitter to another site, but no one's bringing stuff to Twitter, I feel. Maybe they are. I'm just not on it.
Yeah, I'm not on it. But I don't see that same thing with Facebook. I don't see people's just random Facebook posts. Whatever. I see people's Twitter posts, but not Facebook.
So tell me about that poetry experience.
Hold on. So Keely is our social media manager, and she's going to be doing makeup and beauty, lifestyle type things. Just things of that nature. We haven't really nailed it. We don't really know how to describe it yet. We've got ideas, but we don't really know how to You'll see it when the videos come out.
You'll see it.
For me, it's video games, Let's Plays. I'll be mostly the one mainly playing the games, unless it's a 2-player game or whatever. And then we've got some other things Fall Guy Fridays, where every Friday we'll be playing Fall Guys, and that's
I love Fall Guys.
That's more of a time just play a simple chill game that's not very story driven. You don't have to really pay attention. You can jump in on any time and just hang out. And another one we're gonna try to do is Minecraft minigame Mondays. So every Monday, upload a video of us playing Minecraft minigames. If you're not familiar with that, you probably know what Minecraft is. Minecraft, you can build a server, or these websites, companies, whatever, build servers, and they have minigames like Hunger Games, Sky Wars, all these mini games that they come up with. And that's when I used to make YouTube videos back when I was, early teenager. That's what those some of those videos were these Hunger Games and Minecraft games. So I want to do that just because I have a lot of fun, but it's mostly just a time to come and watch something you probably are familiar with and just hang out. And hopefully if things go right, get enough views, whatever, we can move those over to streams, and that way we can actually interact with our audience.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun, especially Fall Guys, which doesn't have a lot of story to it, to be able to interact with people that want to watch the content. I think that'd be really enjoyable. Also, on the Minecraft, we logged into it the other day because it's been a while, And I think you said you were still a VIP on a couple of the servers.
Yeah, so
That was crazy.
I had not played Minecraft since I was.
We played a couple years ago.
I hadn't played on the PC.
You hadn't played on the PC
since I was. I played on the Xbox. I hadn't played on the PC since early teenage years, and so I figured out my password and stuff, and I logged onto these servers, and I was still a VIP.
I'm shocked you could remember a password like that.
I actually had to reset it.
Okay. I was that's very impressive.
I remembered the email.
I have to reset a password, if it's been a week since I've used it.
Yeah, because for the studio, we had to get a new TV so we could record stuff on, and
I had to reset every one of the passwords.
We were looking
for all of the
logging
apps.
into Netflix, Hulu, stuff like
Disney
that, Disney Plus, and we could not
Amazon
remember
Prime.
our emails or what password we used from.
I feel like I have too many emails because I mean, women more than men will understand, but when we got married, I changed my name to Musgrove, so now I have double the emails because I got a lot of new emails that are Keely Musgrove. So whenever I have to figure out what a password is, first I have to actually figure out what my username is, what my email is. I pretty much go searching on my emails for the app and see if this is where it is.
I finally logged on to my Minecraft accounts, and I go to these old servers I used to, and they still had my VIP status. They still had my wins all tracked. Yeah, all my stats all tracked, and that was really fun.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so we'll eventually get into all that. So we have a lot of content planned. Hopefully everything goes. It's been going very smoothly from now. I feel like the hard part's over, honestly.
I think I think we're gonna get more into the hang of it with the Let's Plays. Really keeping the conversation flowing.
Yeah, I feel like right now we've been doing a actually pretty incredible job of keeping the conversation flowing. But the problem is when you're doing a Let's Play is, for me, I am trying, or you too.
Well, it's the first time you've played it since you were a child, so you're really kind of focused on the game, trying to figure it out.
And you can't. It's so impossible to focus on two things, like a conversation and the game you're playing at the same time.
But I think we'll get more into the flow of it. We've been doing pretty good about talking about the game. And honestly, I'll just say again, I know I said it earlier, but I am just so nostalgic about playing Mario 64 again.
Oh, yeah.
In Cool Mountain, when it's the big penguin race. I know we spent a long time on that. But when I saw that penguin there, I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I edited that down. But yeah.
I hope you do.
Yeah, there was
like an hour of the big penguin race.
I don't remember this part at all. But then I see something I remember this part so vividly. Yeah.
Right. It's sliding backwards down the ice hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love that game. I'm so glad that they decided for the 35th anniversary to launch that for the Switch.
So that's so that's basically it about our channel. But moving on, obviously, if you're listening to this is our podcast. And if you're wondering, what's the podcast about? Is it about video games? Is it about makeup? Is it about whatever? It's a free-form podcast, so these are probably going to clock in at about an hour in length. And it's a free-form podcast. That means we're really just going to, once a week, these videos will come out.
Just sit down and talk.
Yeah, we'll just sit down and we'll talk. We'll talk about us. We'll talk about the channel. We'll talk about maybe current events, movies, TV shows, music we're watching, listening to, anything like that. Just what's going on in our lives. And if you want to stop by and check in on us, you totally can. If not, you can check out our other videos and see our Let's Plays and whatnot. But if you want to move on from our actual channel and what we're going on, I'll hit you with the age-old question.
Oh gosh.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Okay, so we've talked about this some before, but I know where you're coming from. I personally would do 100 duck-sized horses.
I feel like that's the right answer because
I just think there's a horse-sized duck. Like, are you kidding me? That beak is strong as shit.
that's exactly.
It's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
It just
like,
is.
If we're talking hand-to-hand combat, okay.
Yeah.
A horse-sized duck has an incredible beak.
An incredible beak.
Imagine a duck beak the size of a horse snout. Just
Right.
hitting you. Imagine wings on a horse
Just
like
flapping
a Pegasus.
you. Just flapping you across the
slapping shit
room.
out of you.
Honestly, so like the duck-sized horses, I think the worst thing a horse can do to you is either. Okay, also speaking a little background information. I was on an equestrian team in middle school and high school. Like I rode in rodeos and stuff like that. I do not own any horses. I haven't ridden horses in a long time. But I think the worst thing a horse can do to you, number one, you're feeding it, it bites your hand. Okay? Number one.
Don't buy the hand that feeds you.
Second thing, they don't know that. They're spoiled as shit.
They're dumb horses. They ain't
They're
no
dumb
shit.
horses. Okay, number two, it's going to kick you if you're standing behind it. I think those are the worst things a horse could do to you. So, as a duck-sized horse, number one, their mouth is going to be too small to
Yeah.
puncture your skin.
Right.
Just like dragonflies. Dragonflies are like poisonous, whatever. Not dragonflies. Daddy long legs.
I was like, dragonflies are poisonous?
You're like,
Jesus Christ.
what?
I
No,
need to be more
that's
scared
some
of
fake
dragonflies.
news I just told you. I
Venomous.
hope you didn't believe it.
Venomous.
Daddy long legs are venomous
There you go.
AF, right?
I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard that,
I've heard that. Maybe
But-
I'm just like a follower and I don't know.
but
But it's like that. So
Yeah.
like a horse, its bite is really painful. It can probably chop off your finger if it's a horse size. But as a duck size horse, I feel like it couldn't even puncture your skin. Number two, its little hoof is so tiny, it's just going to be aggravating. Also, they're so small, I feel like you can just step on them,
right.
right?
Just do
So
something
that's my opinion. I feel like they would be so much easier to fight than a horse-sized duck. Like, are you kidding me?
yeah, 100%.
A horse-sized duck? No way.
No way. And I agree 100%.
I want to hear your points though. Like, why would you think?
Okay. First of all,
Duck-sized
let me say
horses.
if you're confused about the daddy long leg thing,
I apologize for even saying.
apparently the thing is it might be real, might
I'll look it up.
not be true, but apparently daddy long legs are supposed to be very venomous, except their fangs are not long enough to puncture human skin, and that's why no one's dying of daddy long leg bites.
All right, so I typed in "daddy long" into Google.
Daddy long? You should have done that.
I was typing "daddy long legs," but I had only gotten through "daddy long," and Google's number 3 suggested search is "daddy long legs poisonous." So it turns out they do not have venom glands, fangs, or any mechanism. So they do not have poison. They are not poisonous. So it seems like
Yeah, so that daddy long legs
it's
is all bullshit.
all bullshit. We're followers. We heard shit. We repeated it.
Well, I mean, at least we were like, I don't know if that's true, but like, that's
Okay.
what we've heard.
Yeah.
That's something, you know.
Well,
at
we're
least-
just spreading fake news over here. We were just told something as kids, and
we looked it up, and now we know.
now we finally looked it up.
Yeah.
We're better for it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Google is your friend.
When was the last time you thought about daddy long legs?
Yeah, probably. I don't think I've thought about daddy long legs in a long time.
Yeah, 100%. So okay, so I would also agree. I would fight 100 horse-sized ducks because even if like not even saying I could beat 100 horse-sized ducks or anything like that, but there is a 100% chance that I will get murdered by a duck-sized horse. There's no way I'm making it out
Or
of that
no,
fight.
via horse-sized duck.
Horse-sized duck, yeah. There's no way I'm making it out of that. So like I don't care.
That beak, man.
I don't care what I can do or what they can do to me. 100 duck-sized horses, I will 100% not beat a horse-sized duck.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
Here,
It's
Yeah.
got that. Honestly, if you have not dealt with a baby duck before. Even like a little baby duck biting you is the most painful shit.
Have you dealt with baby ducks?
Yeah.
Don't say yeah like I should know. What are you
Well,
talking
when I was on
about?
the equestrian team, you had to. So it was like it was like a program, I guess. So you could be on the equestrian team. You had to apply for it, whatever. And you could ride the horses, ride in rodeos and shows. But you had to volunteer on the weekends. So like half the weekends in a month, you had to volunteer at the camp and like show kids how to ride horses, show them how to interact with animals, whatever. So we had a petting zoo there, and we would always have like baby animals. And so there was always baby ducks, and baby ducks are the most vicious animals. They will just bite you with their little beak, and they're so tiny, but it's already so painful. And I cannot imagine a horse-sized duck it could just bite your head off like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's no way I would fight a horse-sized duck in a million years.
Okay,
no way.
Even going off of anything else, you mentioned it earlier about if you stand behind a horse, it might kick you.
Right.
I've seen videos of people getting kicked by a horse. My immediately first thought is that person's dead. They took a horse hoof to the chest.
No, it's not that bad. I've been kicked by a horse. Okay, I've been riding on a horse, in a show. So pretty much like sometimes they'll have like partners going in a certain pattern in a show, and
An equestrian show.
right. And so before in practice, my partner's horse has jumped up like from its front legs, its back legs jump up and kicked me in the leg in a show.
Like there's an audience.
I guess it was like a practice show. It wasn't really like at the rodeo or anything, but my partner's horse just like jumped up, kicked me in the leg, and yeah, that shit's painful, but like you're gonna live through it, you know what I mean? And if they're the size of a duck.
Did you sue the horse?
No, I'm not that litigious.
But here.
Say what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I really like the would you rather thing. So I just looked some more up. Let's do this. Would you rather the aliens that make first contact be robotic or organic?
Okay. So I know what I would rather have happen. I would much rather have the first aliens we made contact with be organic.
Organic.
I would rather have that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what logically would happen, but that's what I would rather happen. Just because theoretically, they would also be like some kind of like human or animal-like being, and they would think and feel, maybe not in the exact same thought process, but they would have those ways that their brain or nervous system would work.
Okay.
And I would rather have that over a robot, which has to be programmed by some being elsewhere.
Right.
And you don't know what they've programmed it to do, and you don't know how strict of limits they've programmed into it. Like, if they program it to do this, did they program in an algorithm where it can pivot and do something else if there's a different situation? Or if they're like, they program hard limits, go there, kill these people. You don't know.
Right.
Right?
So I do think that's like the right mindset about the robotic portion of this question, is that like I in my mind they're androids. They were built by something else.
Right.
But let me okay, would you rather be organic or robotic? I'm going to answer differently. I'm going to go robotic.
You'd rather be robotic?
I'd rather them be robotic.
Oh, you'd rather them be robotic. Why would you rather them be robotic?
Okay, so
Electromagnet?
Electromagnet?
Yeah, just like fuck them up, right?
Why
They'd
are we
be easier
going
to
war?
fight. They'd be easier to fight.
I guess.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know. People seem pretty fragile to me. You know, you're missing one organ and you're dead. I would rather the, first. What was the question?
The first alien contact.
I'd rather them be robotic. Okay.
So why is that? That
All
doesn't
of
make
this
any
I am
sense to me.
basing off of
Media.
not media. No, why would you say media? I'm basing this all of, if we're talking aliens are intelligent beings, intelligent beings capable of space travel. We know
Right.
of one intelligent being capable of space travel, and that's human beings.
Right.
So I'm basing it all of what we've done. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen 100% of the time. Obviously that's maybe not true, but whatever. But what was the first thing humans sent into space?
Monkey.
Sputnik. A machine.
Okay. Was it not manned?
Sputnik?
Sputnik? So,
It was a satellite
unmanned-
made by the Russians.
Okay.
After that, we were trying it because, space race.
Would you count that, though, if, like, a satellite came
No, 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 no,
from
no,
an
no, no,
unknown
no,
country? Would you
I've-
count that
I've-
as machine, with a robotic?
I've got more, but
Okay.
we put Sputnik into space because that's just where our technology was at the time.
Right.
And then, just recapping the space race, Russians won the space race by going to space for the first time by putting Sputnik. And we were like, oh shit, we got to one up them. So we went to the moon. And we did not send, I don't think we sent a rover to the moon before we sent people. But that's because of political things. But say Mars, originally we did not have the capability to send people to
To
Mars.
send people to Mars,
So
right.
we spent rovers, robots.
So you'd rather know that they don't have the capability as well.
Right. So in my head, if they send robots to our planets,
That means
they don't
they're
have
at
the
the same
capability
place.
right now to get. I mean, they have they're way ahead of us in technology because they can send their shit.
They know
light
where
years.
other life is.
Yeah.
And they
wouldn't
know
where
how
it
to
came
send
from.
it.
So they can send that to us, but at least if a robot comes, it's probably going to be surveying. There's a good X-Files episode about this where aliens send robotic cockroaches to Earth to like survey and stuff and whatnot. But the reason why I also go against organic, again, I'm basing this off what humans do. If organic life forms come to us, like you see in movies, humanoid things land on Earth with a spaceship. And you're like, oh shit, are we going to go to war? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what happens right here. They're going to enslave us. Because what if they're so technologically advanced, if they're so much more technologically advanced than us, they're going to see us as these primitive beings, these savages, not knowing what the hell's going on, can't travel through space like a bunch of fucking idiots. So they're going to come here and be like, you guys are so stupid, like what are you going to do, like whatever. And what do humans do when they encounter other humans like that? They enslave them or they kill them. What do people do when they move to America? What do people do when, they went to Africa for the first time? Slaves and genocide, that's what it is. And so
So you think aliens will follow the same suit?
Yeah.
You don't think that they're going to be intellectually evolved beings that...
Farther than that? No,
You don't think so?
I'm also basing this off,
Off of, like, God, what's the term? When people, at the end of World War I, when people were trying to just, like, when all the countries were trying to get, like, as much land as they could. What was the term? I guess colonialism?
Colonialism?
Yeah. So
No.
your argument is based on how humans behave during colonialism and imperialism.
All my arguments are based on how humans have behaved because that's all we know. And I think if you're making arguments about like I could honestly say, yeah, I would totally rather them be organic and be friendly and come to us and give us technology to make us be able to try. I would love that, but trying to base it off some sort of logic and realistically, I'm saying no. I'd rather them be electronic.
I would
or
love for them
robotic.
to be those little beings from that one episode of Futurama where they invented the Ford time machine and they went to the time where humans were separated into small, cute little creatures that were hyper intelligent and emotionally intelligent beings, and then like the dumb strong brutes.
Right.
I would love for them to be those little cute beings that understand who we are and are able to be reasoned with.
Yeah. Yeah, so like same. I would rather also be, but like, you know,
They want like
I guess my
catalog
answer to the question
intelligence.
is I would rather them be organic and whatever, but like, you know, realistically they're gonna be robotic, because you know we always send robots before we go and send humans. So I would assume aliens are sending robots before they send their species or whatever, and then after that, you know, if they were organic, they're going to be enslaving, genocide, because, again, basing off what we know on Earth, life is all about survival of the fittest. So, you know, why would these beings come to Earth and be like, you know, it's hard even for humans nowadays to go, oh, I can totally survive and you can survive too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's totally like, oh, like, I have enough to live and I have actually too much to live. I can give you some and now you have enough to live too, instead of just like resource hoarding and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, like take 2020 and all of the toilet paper hoarding.
Right.
Like, come on.
You're gonna buy up hundreds and hundreds of rolls of toilet paper. Like, how much toilet paper are you going through?
Right. Like, I saw one guy did like some calculations of how much you would really need to use a year, and that these people who are buying like there's cases and cases of toilet paper, like there's like how many shits a day are you taking?
Yeah, like 20. Insane. But yeah, I think you know it will be robot. And you know what I don't like about this question?
What do you not like?
Is that, you know, I understand it's just like some would you rather question that I looked up real quick on the internet, but it says, would you rather aliens that make first contact be robotic or organic? But why aren't we the aliens? Why is it every movie?
Yeah, why are
every
you
TV
limiting
show,
us?
It's always,
we're about to go to Mars 2022.
It's always some other intelligent being coming to Earth, and we're the primitives. And why is it never the other way around, where it's like,
yeah,
you know, maybe not today, maybe not 2020, maybe not even in our lifetime, but maybe like 21, I don't know. We have space travel, we can travel out, and we're the ones that make first contact, and we go to like a planet, and I'm describing
why are
this,
we
and
asking
what's
if they would rather us be robotic or
right.
human?
What's the movie Planet of the Apes about? Is that what that's about? I'm
not really sure. I don't remember.
Is it humans going to another planet and it being like more primitive in beings? It might not be.
But I mean, humans are. I mean, there's a mission, right, for 20. Or is it 20, like...
I don't know.
30? Well, there's a mission for the first manned expedition to Mars. And there's... I mean, a woman, like NASA Blueberry, I think, is her tag Instagram handle. It's a girl who has been going to, like, NASA space camps since she was, like, a child. Just, like, so interested in expansion of the human race and the universe, and... She's going to be on the first manned expedition to Mars. Isn't that insane? Don't you just feel like so unaccomplished?
I don't feel unaccomplished because, you know, fuck that. I won't go to Mars.
You won't go to Mars?
No.
Not unless there's an established base there. You wouldn't go to Mars?
Not if it was just... I need an established, like... Okay, I'm spoiled. Like, I grew up in America. I grew up in a large city.
You grew up in a large city,
I grew up with Amazon. Like... Well, I didn't grow up with Amazon, but I have Amazon now, and like
and I can't go back.
Building this channel, we've needed so many things.
Like, I ordered a Wacom tablet today at 11 a.m. and I got it at 2 p.m. today. Like,
and you know,
what would we do without Amazon?
You know, say what you want about like Amazon crushing small businesses and whatever, and you're probably right about all of it.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
You can't say that Amazon doesn't like deliver shit fast.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, I couldn't go to Mars, and like I couldn't like all of a sudden like, oh, I'm living in the city and like, you know, doing this and like having these cool electronics and whatever, and then like, all right, I'm gonna go to Mars and like farm potatoes.
Have like a traditional life.
Yeah, because you're basically like Amish at the point. I mean, like, obviously you're surrounded
Obviously,
by
you're
electronics.
not Amish because you need a lot of electronics to sustain human life on Mars. But
you've got that, like, off-the-grid lifestyle of, like,
Yeah.
I'm farming, I'm, all this stuff.
I'm Matt Damon in whatever
Mars,
movie
The
that
Martian. I never
Matt
saw
Damon's
that. Did
in.
you see that?
I feel like Matt Damon's in a lot of movies that are exactly the same, and we definitely watched The Martian together.
I have not seen The Martian, so you definitely didn't watch it with me.
Did I watch it without you?
Maybe. I haven't seen it.
So, just so you guys know, or you all know, I don't watch a lot of movies. I kind of have this about me where I don't want to commit to watching a long, something that'll take a lot of my time. But so it's just really funny for me when I've watched a movie without Justin. Like, I watched Aquaman without Justin. He was very upset.
Still haven't seen it.
Still hasn't seen it. It's crazy.
Won't watch it now.
No, definitely not. We don't have to talk about that right now.
No. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But when Justin and I first started dating when we were younger, we kind of made a list of movies that I hadn't seen that he thought was insane that I hadn't seen those
It
movies.
was insane.
It was like I hadn't seen Jurassic Park,
None of the Jurassic Parks.
Titanic.
Not Titanic.
Not Titanic.
Like barely any of the Star Wars.
Star Wars. I don't think I had seen any of Star Wars when we started
Oh
dating.
my god.
We watched, so we made this huge list of movies that I hadn't seen that he thought was ridiculous. I wasn't cultured, whatever. And I just really hadn't watched a lot of movies growing up, besides like Stuart Little. I watched
watch that
Stuart
one on
Little
repeat.
on repeat. There's 3 of them, and I had them all on VHS.
Okay, since you've seen it, what's the story behind Stuart Little?
I mean, it's like a mouse that lives with a family.
Why does he live with the family? Is he just like there, like
They just found him, I think.
They just found him?
I don't really remember.
Hold on. Let me look it up.
I don't really remember. But it's like this mouse that lives with this rich white family.
Stuart Little plot.
Oh yeah, so the
He's
Littles,
an orphanage?
the
He was an
Littles
orphan?
go to an orphanage to adopt a new family member, and they come across Stuart, a charming mouse.
You're a child in an
So-
orphanage, and a family comes and
It
passes
adopts
you up
a mouse.
to get a mouse.
To get a mouse. Can
That's
you
what that's
imagine?
based on? That's wild. I remember him driving around that little toy car, but like that's
Well,
about
I
it.
love Stuart Little. So when I was a kid, my dad would take us to the mall for like a dad-daughter day. Like maybe once a month, whatever. But my older sister, KJ, and I would go to the mall with my dad. We'd go to Bennigan's, R.I.P. Bennigan's. It's now bankrupt.
He's not around.
No, it's not around anymore. There's like one left. Like Blockbuster, I guess. But we go to Bennigan's, get Shamrock cookies. And then we would go to, God, what is that place called? It was like a movie rental. Or I guess it was like a place you bought movies in the mall.
Family Video?
Family Video.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We have one around here.
So we went to Family Video on the 3rd story of the Dallas Galleria. And we would get a VHS. And that was like once a month KJ and I would each get to pick one VHS that we wanted to get. And I remember the time where KJ and I saw the Stuart Little VHS collection, all 3 movies. And we convinced my dad that since we were both on the same page, we wanted to get the whole VHS collection. He got it for us. We were so excited. We got home and we just started watching the Stuart Little movies. Yeah, so
That's insane.
so maybe I haven't seen a lot of the traditional movies, but I've seen all 3 Stuart Littles.
I think when I really took off watching movies was from Blockbuster. I remember like sometimes after work, after my mom's work, we would go to Blockbuster and like pick out a movie or whatever. But did you have Blockbuster when they started sending DVDs to your house?
No, we did not do that.
So that was like right before Netflix.
That's some rich
became
kid
a thing.
shit.
It's a rich kid. It was right before Netflix because, you know, if you're too young to remember, Netflix used to send DVDs to your house before they were a streaming service.
Yep.
They were rivaling Blockbuster, and Blockbuster, the only reason
Also
why
did
Blockbuster
not
came
have
around,
that.
because they were like, Blockbuster's like, who wants to like stream shit? Like, what? Blockbuster was wrong. But Blockbuster would send DVDs, and like, so once a week you would get like 3 DVDs. So I was watching like every week just 3 separate movies. So I'm just like going through movies. And so I like, you know, I saw all like the series that were coming out. And like, I'm sure there was a ton of movies I didn't see, but I definitely saw like the big ones.
Oh, also, another big one that I hadn't seen was Harry Potter.
You hadn't seen
I
Harry Potter?
hadn't seen Harry Potter. We were, I think, juniors in college when we ended up on Amazon Prime Day.
Amazon Prime Day, yeah.
They had the entire Harry Potter series for like $40 on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
We got it. We watched all of the movies right then. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but like back in the day, LOL, not that long ago, a lot of people wouldn't let their kids watch Harry Potter because maybe they went to a Baptist church.
Yeah, wizardry and sorcery was like straight up against the Bible.
Sorcery is against the Bible. I don't know if you knew that, but a lot of people didn't let their kids watch Harry Potter. So I was 21 years old when I finally watched the entire Harry Potter series, and I love it. I love Harry Potter.
Right. It's really good.
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
it was always crazy to me that you like, you know, there's like a ton of movies.
I watched Kill Bill as a child.
Yeah, you watched like the crazy,
but not Harry Potter.
But you couldn't watch like Harry Potter and seen Hunger Games.
I have seen Hunger Games, and I've read Hunger Games. I was a little older
Indiana
at that time.
Jones.
Seen Indiana Jones, and maybe my dad let me watch some movies that my mom didn't want me to watch, but like Kill Bill, for instance.
Right.
What parent wants their kid to watch Kill Bill when they're like 10, 12 years old?
My parents let me play a video game where I shot up an airport. So I don't know. Kill Bill seems pretty. I don't know.
Pretty mild at that point.
When I was, you know, I was young when I watched it for the first time.
Who's the star?
Kill Bill?
Is it Tilda Swinton?
Who?
I feel like Tilda Swinton should be the star of Kill Bill.
Is Tilda Swinton from? Was she in Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Kill Bill is Uma Thurman.
Oh, it definitely is Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
But I feel like Tilda Swinton...
It's Quentin Tarantino. Of course it's Uma Thurman.
I feel like they should remake Kill Bill and have Tilda Swinton be the star. I feel like that would be a really cool, eclectic take. Don't you think? I mean, she's blonde, she's...
Just swapping out the character? I don't think so.
Well, I'm not saying that's the only change you make, but, like... I think she would be great in that role.
I do think if she was cast instead of Uma, she would have done great. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Uma Thurman did a bad job, but I don't think they should remake it just so they could cast a new person.
No, but like they make remakes of movies all the time, and if they do remake Kill Bill,
yeah, but they don't do.
I'm pagan.
I'm
pagan.
Quentin Tarantino movies.
I'm pagan. Tilda Swinton. If they remake it, maybe 30 years down the road, maybe I wouldn't recast. For Tilda Swinton, but
no,
I love Tilda Swinton. She's so fun.
Yeah, what was it? She was in what was that movie with Adam Driver and Bill Murray? Zombie movie. The Dead Don't Die.
Oh yes, The Dead Don't Die. That movie was so stupid. I loved it so much.
That was like one of the most fun experiences I had in theaters in a long time.
Yeah, like it was just like a good time movie. Like it was obviously not like a cinematically great movie, but it was just funny.
Yeah, I think that did a really good job with like the fourth wall breaks and
like, Selena Gomez just being like some random character that dies.
Was.
Yeah, it's just being like some random
like
character.
Group of friends in the movie. Yeah, wow, I forgot about that.
I love that. That was a great cameo.
Yeah. And then another experience we had in the theaters was the movie Tenet.
Tenet.
Okay, now I have some things to say about Tenet. First of all, I think we're both great. I fucking loved the movie.
I loved Tenet. I have talked to some coworkers about it, and I know not everybody is 100% on board, but I love Tenet.
you know, a lot of people say, oh, it was too confusing, and there were actually things like after the movie we talked about, and I was wrong about because I was confused about it.
Right.
But like that wasn't even like it didn't. I didn't say like, oh, I didn't understand it, so I didn't like the movie. I actually liked it even more after I understood.
Because
like,
you had to
whoa.
think about it.
I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Or like the one thing I will give credit to people is people saying Christopher Nolan films. The
Are
dialogue
overrated.
is just too low in volume compared to like the background noise. So like in a car driving, and the driving noise, like the wheels on the road and the engine noise is so high compared to. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that, but like I don't know, maybe it's just me and a young person. I'm like, I could still hear them talking just fine.
Yeah, I get that. There's like a whole scene of them driving the highway. I don't know if you guys have seen Tenet. I know it came out in theaters during isolation, during the pandemic, not a lot of people went out. We did actually go see it in theaters. We were the only 2 people in the movie theater.
Right.
It was a really cool experience to watch it in theaters. And I don't think we've seen any other movies during the pandemic.
No, that was the only. That was
We
the
just
only
had
one
been
because I get-
anticipating Tenet for so long. And when it came out, we were like, let's try to make it happen. So
Yeah,
we
because-
looked up theater times and stuff, and we saw nobody else had purchased tickets at the time. And we made the agreement if we didn't feel comfortable, we weren't going to stay, but we were literally the only 2 people in the theater.
Right.
And we had a great time.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And if you were like me, if you were following like the previews and stuff about Tenet coming out,
We just had no idea what was going to
yeah,
be out.
that was like the thing. It was like the previews that were coming out, like it showed all this action and all this stuff. And like, I have no idea what this movie's
All
about.
they said was, it's a spy film.
Yeah, it's like, like it was towards the end. It's like, okay, Robert Pattinson and like the
Robert
spy
Pattinson.
and the protagonist. And
I still... He didn't even have a name in the movie.
he was never named.
He was never named in the movie.
And
They
I just
didn't
thought
call
it
him by
was-
his name once.
It was the.
It was
I fucking
insane.
loved it.
I loved it.
I loved the marketing. I loved the previews. I loved
the
film.
secrecy.
I loved everything about that. Just like nowadays.
So let me ask you something. Do you think they'll make a sequel?
Oh no, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, you know, without giving away about the movie, because I know a lot of people haven't been able to have the chance of seeing it. Just the way it was set up and the way it ended, I think it tied together. Just like that was it, and it's got
How it ended with saying like, I feel like there was a whole lead up about who he was going to be.
But I think that's the point. It's like it's a film that's confusing. It makes you think a lot. I think that's how it needs to be. It can't tie up all the loose ends. It can't give you too much closure, because then it kind of defeats what it actually is, a mystery, if it gives out all of the information.
I guess I am a sucker for sequels.
Oh, you love sequels.
And I'll say Christopher Nolan, if you're on the fence, please make a sequel. We would love to see the protagonist and his journey into his future self.
The future or the past or whatever the hell it is.
Whatever the hell
Right.
it is. We're not 100% sure.
Yeah. But I think the marketing was great. Just like
I love the movie. I love the film.
Just one thing that's been happening recently. I'm sure you've seen all like the monoliths that have popped up. You know what I'm talking about?
Monoliths?
Yeah.
Like the stones? Or like the...
Yeah, it's like just like
Just like in the middle of the desert
Yeah.
kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently there's like been like 3 that popped up. Like one in
I saw
Utah,
the one in Utah, yeah.
California, one in Romania. Whether or not they're like copycats or whatever, because this is how I thought the first one. I thought the first one popped up in Utah, and then the park rangers removed it because it was illegally put up in a national park. That's how I thought it.
Right.
But apparently people have been like talking about how it's like a marketing thing or whatever. But I was just thinking about like the
A marketing thing?
Yeah, like
For
you know,
what?
they've done things like that before in the past of like they're like, oh, this is like a mystery, and it's just like some marketing for like some movie or whatever.
What is the marketing for?
I don't know. Some people have thought like, oh, maybe they're about to announce like a reboot for Space Odyssey, or maybe has Dune come out yet?
Oh shit, has Dune come out?
I don't think so. I think it's gotten pushed back because of isolation, the pandemic. But I just thought my 2 cents on it is, if anything, it's marketing. Everybody wants to take something and make it more. I'm like, no, it's always somebody trying to pull like one over on you or whatever, and I just think it's like marketing for something.
Wow, I never even thought about that. I thought people were just putting up
Yeah,
shit.
it's either marketing for something or it's like just
or just like a
copycats.
prank. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like people seeing something and being like, oh, I should do that.
Like a couple of years ago, it was like
Like, oh, there's
the
a desert
clowns.
by me. Right. And like random people just like dress up as clowns and try
Yeah.
to scare people just
And-
to be like part of people that are in the know, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, and then it turns out to be, I don't know if did that actually turn out to be marketing for the movie It, or was it just nothing?
No, it's just nothing.
It was just nothing.
It was
and
just
then
nothing.
That's what this might turn out to be, or it might turn out to be marketing for something. That's how I see it. Yeah. So yeah, we're excited about the whole channel and getting
We
everything
really
done.
hope everyone
enjoys
at least
it.
has like a good time. Like,
Yeah.
it's nothing too deep or intense.
Nothing too deep and intense. Nothing too like, oh, we're trying to, be number one and whatever. We're doing this because we want to do it, and we're doing this because we're generally having a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah,
And
we just
hope
like
that you're
need
having,
a creative outlet. We hope you guys.
We hope you're having fun watching this.
Yeah.
And, hope you're getting as much enjoyment out of it as we are. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening to the first episode of JK Cast. Again, super creative name.
Yeah, I hope you really get what our channel's about, what we're trying to do here, and we hope you're actually enjoying what we're doing.
So thank you again, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.